A few more of my notebooks, just again. Some charts that I use, the calendar of 2002, because that's my general ideas about plots. These are all warm-up stuff. Sketches of the person, my main character, chronologies in their personal life. When did they meet this guy? When did the marriage go bad? What happened after the marriage? What happened in his chronology after the marriage? What happened to her? I'm going to show you, again, because I like physical details a lot, I tend to draw badly. This is her apartment. You can't see it from there, but you can see the front door. You can see the bathroom. You can see that the bathroom's right across from the bedroom. She's got a kitchen. A lot happens in her kitchen, a lot of mulling time. And then I've got I couldn't find it, but I've got a sketch of her office, and this is the building the office is in. It doesn't make sense to anybody but me. But when I had to figure out, it's 5 stories, 8 units. How many units is she responsible for? How many units are... Stuff like that. This was the first set of notes I used. The star of that's what I call my protagonist the first time through, is named Kai. That didn't change. Her boyfriend is named, that changed. Everybody else is, but this card became the list of the stuff related to her work, names related to her work. Yes, I did repeat it here, but when I wanted it fast, I could see that card sticking out, and so I could find everyone in her work site by pulling this card out. So whatever works for you that's fast. So in here are all not all, but many of my sketches for people, names, chronologies, who was married to when, where the grandparents came from. Did any of this, a lot of it didn't come into the book, but I had to know who the grandparents were, what their origin was. And she's from Scandinavia originally, and anyway, her family. So notes, lots of them. All the maps, newspaper articles, photographs I did not bring because I would have had to have brought a big case. And in revision, my second to the last revision, once it got good, they got green dots on them. And my computer files also green dots on them. And my final version has purple dots. These are a totally different arrangement. These are still chapters, so that in the last paragraph I say, what did she's having this riff here on problem of doing business in restaurants. Oh man, I think I did that before. Where? And I can go find it without reading the whole novel. Which, you don't want to read it that many times. So
many times have we wasted time going back?
That's why these cards are handy. Because you just don't, Search and delete's only handy for some stuff.
Can you explain again those first 4x6 note cards, that versus the loose papers that you had with the notes? Like, what's the difference?
These are actually what gets written.
Okay.
And the other stuff's sort of background stuff.
Okay.
So this is when I'm thinking of the novel. This is what's actually in each chapter. The facts of what's in each chapter. Sometimes a little bit of mood.
Okay.
Sometimes a little bit of theme.
Okay.
But mostly it's the events, because I've written it, and so I can sort of remember the mood with the event, but sometimes not. So these cards are, if I were to read these, you would know the whole plot of the novel. This other stuff is background, the toolbox, what some people call the Bible, in some circumstances where you think of it's everything you need to know to go forward, the landscape that you're in, the names of her next door neighbor, the kids upstairs and downstairs, if they're in there or not. I have her neighbors on her stairwell and their family situations, so that if she overhears some banging in the wall, she'll say, "Oh, there's Mrs. Rodriguez again." And I don't have to come up with a new name every time. Does that make sense? So this other stuff's notes, and this is the collected facts.
So when you're actually composing, you do that at the computer?
Yeah.
Okay, so you sit down with your cards and all the background.
Well, the cards come after I've written something. I almost never...
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So when I've written a first chapter, I'll jot down what I wrote. Sometimes actually I write 4 or 5 chapters, and then I go back and feel like, I'm sort of tidying my closet. I have to write the cards for those notes. But it is, I force myself because it is always handy. There's always stuff I have to retrace. And these cards get me there faster. They're sort of a map to what I've done. So I don't write these cards in advance. I'm not that forward thinking. I have an outline, which is the most malleable thing I have. If I showed you the first outline for the novel, I wouldn't recognize anything in it except the last scene. Those get torn up and most of them get thrown away. So I don't get confused.